Hello, I am recording the video and today's topic is HTTP. An overview of HTTP. HTTP is a protocol for fetching resources such as HTML documents. It is the foundation of any data exchange on the web and it is a client server protocol, which means requests are initiated by the recipient, usually the web browser. A complete document is reconstructed from the different subdocument fetched, for instance text, layout, description, images, videos, scripts and more. Clients and server communicate by exchanging the individual messages as opposed to a stream of data. The messages sent by the client, usually a web browser, are called requests, and the messages sent by the server as an answer are called response. Designed in the early 1990s, is an extensible protocol which has evolved over time. It is an application layer protocol that is sent over TCP or over a TLS encrypted TCP connection. Though any reliable transport protocol could theoretically be used, due to its extensibility, it is used to not only fetch hypertext documents but also images and videos, or to post content to server like with HTML form result. HTTP can also be used to fetch part of the documents to update web pages on demand. Components of HTTP based system. HTTP is a client server protocol. Requests are sent by one entity, the user agent or a proxy on behalf of it. Most of the time the user agent is a web browser, but it can be anything. For example, a robot that crawls the web to populate and maintain a search engine index. Each individual request is sent to a server which handles it provides an answer called the response. Between the client and the server, there are numerous entities collectively called proxies which perform different operations and acts as gateway or caches. For example, in reality, there are more computers between a browser and the server handling the request. There are there are routers, modem, and more. Thanks to the layered design of the web, these are hidden in the network and transport layer. HTTP is on top at the application layer. Although important for diagnosing network problems, the underlying layer are mostly irrelevant to the description of HTTP. Client, the user agent. The user agent is any tool that acts on behalf of the user. This role is primarily performed by the web browser, but it may also be performed by a program used by engineers and web developers to debug their applications. The browser is always the entity initiating the request. It is never the server, though some mechanisms have been added over the year to simulate server initiated messages. To display a web page, the browser sends an original request to fetch the HTML document that represents the page. It then passes this file, making additional requests corresponding to the execution scripts, layout information to display, and sub resources contained within the page, usually images and videos. The web browser then combines these resources to present the complete document. The web page scripts executed by the browser can fetch more resources in later phases, and the browser updates the web page accordingly. A web page is hypertext document. This means some part of the displayed content are links which can be activated usually by a click of the mouse to fetch a new web page, allowing the user to direct their user agent and navigate through the web. The browser translates the direction into HTTP request and further interprets the HTTP response to present the user with a clear response. The web server. On the opposite side of the communication channel is the server, which serves the document as requested by the client. A server appears as only a single machine virtually, but it may actually be a collection of servers sharing the load, or a complex piece of software interrogating other computers like a cache, a DB server, or e-commerce server, totally or partially generating the document on a demand. A server is not necessarily a single machine, but several server software instances can be hosted on the same machine. With HTTP 1.1 and the host header, they may even share the same IP address. Proxies. Between the web browser and the server, numerous computers and machines relay the HTTP messages. Due to the layered structure of the web stack, most of these operate at the transport network or physical levels, becoming transparent at the HTTP layer and potentially having a significant impact on performance. Those operating at the application layer are generally called proxies. This can be transparent, forwarding on the request they received without altering them in any way, or non-transparent, in which case they will change the request in some way before passing it along to server. Proxies may perform numerous functions. Caching. The cache can be public or private, like the browser cache. Filtering, like an antivirus scan or parental controls. Load balancing, to allow multiple servers to serve different requests. Authentication, to control access to different resources. Logging, allowing the storage of historical information. Basic aspects of HTTP. HTTP is simple. HTTP is extensible. HTTP is stateless but not sessionless. HTTP and connections. What can be controlled by HTTP? This extensible nature of HTTP has over time allowed for more control and functionality of the web. Cache and authentication method were functions handled early in HTTP history. The ability to relax the origin constraint by constant was only added in 2010s. Thank you.